Anyways, with the NBA, Lakers stink.
That's awesome. You guys have no idea how much I love it.
I mean, why do they stink?
Because they always stink.
Okay, give me a logical reason why they actually stink.
I predicted that when I told you about Mike D'Antoni's hire. They're too old for a team to be running this type of system. They're too old to be running up and down the court like they're our age. Well, actually, not even my age. Your guys' age. You know, I mean, Kobe Bryant can't do it all himself. It's like watching the Delta Mustangs girls team. They can't do it all by themselves. You know, Paul Gasol has struggled. Dwight Crybaby Howard has struggled. Steve Nash has broken hips. I mean, this team is not what everybody thought it was. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to be awesome this season. But, you know, they ain't no Miami Heat.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is you got too many egos on that team, and they can't coexist with each other. So, I mean, you have every man for himself out there, especially Howard.
Yeah.
Where he's complaining all the time, oh, I'm not getting enough shots. Kobe's taking too many shots.
Well, what do you expect of the Lakers? I mean, that's Kobe's team. Even when Kobe retires, for some reason, that's still going to be his team.
Yeah, it's just like Magic Johnson, how he complains. You know, it's always going to be so. The Lakers always, no matter who their franchise, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar can complain right now. And they still be like, oh, wow, Kareem still complaining. I mean,
Skyhook.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Kobe Bryant, he has one of the biggest egos, but it looks like he's trying to turn it down a little. Don't get me wrong, he's passing a lot more. But, I mean, they're not making the shots. They're not playing team basketball. Their defense sucks. Their fast break offense is ridiculous. All they're going to do is break more hips. I mean, this team is actually looking at they might miss the playoffs.
And right now the Lakers are in the 10th spot. They're 15.5 out of the top spot in the conference, but a good 3.5 out of the last spot for the playoffs. 3.5 behind Houston and a good 2.5 behind Portland.
Yeah, they might actually miss the playoffs. And this is a team that is built for championships. You don't give me that, oh, we're learning a new system crap. Because D'Antoni was supposed to be the right system for him. Which I bet Phil Jackson is just like looking at his rings like, suckers!
He's laughing himself.
Exactly. He's sitting in his office right now doing yoga, laughing to himself.
So, I mean, it looks downhill for the Lakers. It looks like, I don't know, do you guys resign Howard? Do you just try to trade him, or what is it?
Let me tell you something. I hate Howard. I bet the Lakers are starting to really hate him now. I mean, if they had a choice, they possibly would trade him, because we hear the little rumors now about trading him or Gasol, and you might as well trade Howard.
We hear Gasol rumors all the time.
But you know what? Gasol's a better ball player, at least right now he is.
But he's older. He's older. When it comes down to it, you got to look at young. I mean, they traded, what's that, broken knees guy? What's that guy?
Oh, Bynum?
Yeah, they traded Bynum away, which, I don't know, if, it looks like it was a smart move because he's out right now.
He hasn't really played for Philly at all.
Exactly. It looks like, everybody made a big deal about Bynum. Oh, he's an all-star now. Oh.
Yeah, he's an all-star, but he hasn't done anything this season.
Exactly. He's back to where he was, bum knees and all. Come on, Oden, get off the field. And then you got, you know, they made up messing up when they tried to trade Odom, which really was the beginning of the downfall of that franchise.
Yeah.
Lamar Odom, when they started trading him around, that hurt them. You know, and Gasol is always on the block. Kobe Bryant, he needs help. He doesn't have what he has when he won those championships anymore. They're old. They're not fit for that system. They need a slower coach. I think they gave up way too soon on Jackson, or whatever his name was.
So,
yeah.
Brown, whatever.
Let's make this simple. Do you think the Lakers make the playoffs?
No, I don't.
Pete?
No, they don't make the playoffs. So.
It would really surprise me if they did. But you know who's going to make the playoffs? The Indiana Pacers.
Now, speaking of them, I was going to get to that because we know how much you love the Pacers. They say the Pacers are probably the only team that can beat the Heat in the East.
Well, they recently just beat the Heat last week.
I think that's really the only team that could stand up to the Heat. I mean, they almost beat them last year, too.
Well, I mean, it's going to matter what Derrick Rose does. I mean, he's supposed to be coming back pretty soon. And I don't know if he's going to be 100%, if he can actually, because Derrick Rose is an explosive player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be one of the best ones to watch. But can the Bulls really, this year, come back with Derrick Rose and win a playoff series? Probably not. Probably, but probably not. So it may be a year before they finally get back to where they were before he injured himself. So honestly, I don't think anybody can beat the Heat in a 7-game series this year.
No one in the East.
No.
So New
Yeah.
York, well, you already mentioned Chicago, Brooklyn,
No,
your Pacers.
I think the East is very weak. You know, you don't know because the Pacers are still playing without Danny Granger.
hmm
That's their top scorer from last year. So that's 17 points they're missing a game. They are one of the best defensive teams in the league.
hmm
So it's going to come down to can they actually hold the Heat? And even with Bosch out last year, they couldn't knock him out.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they're a young team. They're keeping getting better experience.
hmm
But I don't think it's just like Reggie Miller's team against the Bulls. They're never going to get past that hump.
Yeah. I mean, same thing goes for the Celtics. I mean, they're not the same. To me, they're not the same without Ray Allen.
They were old last year, anyways.
But it just seems like Indiana is one guy away from making like a legitimate run, like
Yeah.
a good star player.
They need a scorer, and right now they're just a team that builds on defense. They don't have no one to really score. You know, they're a team that it's like a defensive team. You know, they dribble the clock out, and they play defense. And you know, if the shots fall, they fall, and we win. If the shots don't fall, then it's up to the defense. So I mean, they're not one of those teams that score 100 points. They're not one of those teams that score 90 points. They're one of those teams that average around 70 to 80 points and give up maybe 5 points less than what they score.
hmm
So I could see them going to the conference final, yes, but
Against Miami,
yeah,
likely.
Miami's most likely going to be the team to beat unless somehow the big three. You need James or Wade to go down injured. Bosch is not that big of a deal.
I mean, I'm looking at these standings right now. The Knicks are only a half game out of the conference lead,
Mm-hmm.
so they can make this a little interesting. But again, as you said, James or Wade need to fall down and get hurt.
Exactly. Then you got Allen still. I mean, don't get me wrong, his time's up, but he's
clutch.
he's not as clutch as you would like him to be what he used to be since his NBA Finals drought.
hmm
But he is still one of those shooters you have to watch out for.
Pete, what do you think?
I got no opinion.
You got no opinion. You don't like talking about this.
I got no opinion. I'm a Warriors fan, man. Come on.
That's probably going to be my team if the
You
Kings
know what?
move.
And the Warriors, they actually started out strong,
Yeah.
and now they're starting to realize who they are. They're like the Vikings of football. They started out strong, and now they're just like, where are we at now?
Yeah, they're starting to level off, and I mean, they got beat by who'd they get beat by? Like they lost like 3 in a row or something like that.
Well, they did, but you know what? They still won 7 of their last 10 games. Right now, they're on a 4-game winning streak.
I mean, they're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, regardless.
You know, I mean, that's going to be huge for Warrior fans to laugh at the Lakers. You know, that's. I mean, anytime you make the playoffs and the Lakers don't, whether you're a weak team or not, just like Memphis. Memphis is a pretty weak team.
And you know what? I was gonna bring up Memphis. They traded what's his face?
That guy,
Rudy Gay. Not Rudy Gay. Is it Rudy Gay?
I have no idea who they
They
traded.
traded someone to Toronto, and I believe it was Gay. I'll give you the real name in a minute. And I don't know why they were doing this. They're in their prime. They're actually a good team now.
Well, they're like the Pacers. You know, they're just. I mean, they're not a defensive team. They could score.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have Gasol's brother. So, I don't know. You know, it comes down to what referees decide to call fouls.
Oh dear.
You know how I feel about the NBA, just like the steroid league.
We'll save baseball for another time. And
Thank God.
I think the other thing I wanted to mention, and this is probably an obvious one, and it's Rudy Gay. I was actually right.
Yeah,
They got traded.
You get a popsicle.
Yeah, I know. Maybe a gold star.
Yeah, there's one
What
right
about
there.
the whole thing with the Kings? Now they're trying to keep him, even though it's likely they're moving to Seattle. What do you think about this? We've had this discussion probably 5-10 different times. Do you see the Kings moving after next season?
Pete.
Well, after this season, rather.
I do. I definitely
It's heartbreaking.
Because, I mean, Sacramento has never really been a great,
We had our 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Conference finals against the Lakers.
Yeah,
the robbery game.
that's when they had pretty much a great core of players with like
Exactly.
C-Webb and
Vlasic, all that.
yeah.
Vladdy,
Vladdy. Who else was on that
Christie,
team? Yeah.
Bibby,
Yep,
Jason
Bibby.
Williams when he was decent with his trick. He's the one actually who started all that with his trick plays.
Yeah, I mean,
With his trick passes and everything. Without those passes, the Kings never really blow up.
Yeah, White Chocolate. Was
Yeah,
his name.
exactly.
Ah.
And then that huge trade for Bibby, which made him better. But
Yeah, it made
that's-
them better, but it seemed like they just lost a little bit of.
It wasn't until Weber went down with that injury where it was over.
Yeah.
Bobby Jackson was awesome off the bench. Scott Pollard, Thunderbird. They had a great squad, only to get screwed in the conference finals.
Yep.
But overall, I mean, it was great. It was a great run for the Kings. The Seattle Supersonics.
Oh dear. So
Yeah.
you're jumping on that boat too.
I think they're gone. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that bothers me about that now is I have to go to Oakland to watch my Indiana Pacers play. And there's a good chance I may not come home.
And Sacramento, it's never really been a great market for professional sports.
I mean, it's funny how the capital city of California is not going to have a major sports team in anything.
Whatever.
I mean, the closest thing we have is, what, a AAA team in the River Cats?
The River Cats!
Unless you want to include the
Bunch
UFL.
of jokes.
Oh, there is no UFL at the moment.
Oh, give them a time. They'll come off strike and finish off their 2-game season.
Oh, my God. But I might as well bring this up. Do you see Sacramento ever getting a professional franchise if the Kings do lose again?
No, I don't see a new stadium being built at all. If they wanted a new stadium, they would have built it already. It's over. Get over it, Sacramento. You guys had your chance. You had 10 years. Peace out.
I mean, it seems like they have plenty of space to build a new stadium, but it's just, I mean,
It's money.
Yeah, it's just too much money.
It is. You can't afford that. I mean, yeah, you're going to get more jobs, but, I mean, that's what they say down here. We're going to get more jobs, and look what happened.
We get robbed.
Yeah, we get robbed. That's what's going to happen in Sacramento. Have our people go down there. Have our people meet your people.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense, and it just really sucks.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
goodbye, Kings, and it's very sad that we knew you, that you're going away.
Yeah, hurry up and
Yeah,
get that out of here.
There should only be one Kings team in California, and it's
Oh.
a hockey team.
Oh yeah, here we go with this crap again. You know what? That's the sad part is I can't figure out how they did that last year.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit.